This is a Qwik-LOK with machinable jaws. This is a complex workpiece, and this is a stack of aluminium raw material. In this video, we are going to prepare our Qwik-LOK to machine this workpiece, which, as you can see, is quite a complex shape. This workpiece needs a minimum of 4 machining operations, and we are going to prepare the Qwik-LOK to do all 4 operations in a single cycle. In order to help us visualize these 4 operations, we have printed each of them out so that we can arrange them on the Qwik-LOK jaws and work out how best to machine them. This approach allows us to move these workpieces around to get the best fit and gives us some opportunity to check for tool clearance before we finalize the design of the jaws. Now let's move over to the CAD and design these jaws. Here we have created a basic 3D model of the jaws, but initially we are going to focus on the fixed jaw in the center, as this is where we need to get our part location in the X and the Y axis. We will simply overlay a model of our components, which will give us a good guide on where to remove stock and create location. Once this is complete, we can add our movable jaws and modify the model as necessary. Bearing in mind, all of our X and Y location must come off the center jaw, but the moving jaws can supply a platform in the Z-axis. And now that we have completed our jaw design, we can take these to the miller and prepare these jaws. With the Qwik-LOK in the milling machine, we first install 2 offcuts of aluminium to use as spacers. These will ensure that the jaws are correctly and evenly loaded while we are machining, but also that once machining is completed, we have some pinch on our workpieces. Then we can go ahead and do the main stock removal process to create pockets to locate our workpieces, followed by a couple of finishing cuts, as well as a couple of other minor areas where we need to machine some tool clearance. Now that the jaws are complete, we can test them with some 3D printed parts to ensure that everything fits correctly and our tool clearances look good. And at this point, we can verify the machining process. After each cycle, we'll get 1 finished workpiece and add 1 piece of raw material. So let's go back to the milling machine and make our first parts. For our first production run, we are only going to machine the first operation, so we will need some kind of spacer in place of the second operation. At this stage, we have separate programs for each operation as we are still proving out and preparing our work holding. With the first operation complete, we can move our workpiece into the second operation location, put a fresh piece of material in the first operation location, and remove the spacer. With the second operation complete, we can now shift all our workpieces over, add a new piece of raw material, and add a spacer to the 4th operation location. In this example, we are using a simple turned piece of aluminium. This is very important to keep the clamping forces even. And with our third operation complete, we can populate all 4 stations of our Qwik-LOK, prove out the last of our programs, and get finished parts out after every cycle. Now that we have proven all of our programs, all that remains is to combine them all into one single program and then reorder them to optimize all of our tool changes. And then we can carry on and machine the rest of this batch of workpieces. With our production run finished, we'll take our Qwik-LOK apart and get it ready for the next job. As can be seen, the process is quick and simple, and the Qwik-LOK is ready to go for the next job in only a few minutes. We are going to keep our part finished components alongside the jaws so that next time we do this job, we can get finished parts out from the first cycle and we don't have to go through the whole process of proving out again. Bearing in mind, if your tools are preset and your datum is where you left it on your machine table, then this is the entire setup process next time we do this job, which I'm sure we'll all agree is very efficient indeed.